everyone. Welcome to In the Cordon, the place where every cricketer wants to be. I'm your host, Callum Dunk, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the podcast. It's done and dusted up in Mackay inside 2 days with Australia winning the toss and electing to bowl on a pretty good pitch, but obviously it was going to have a little bit in it with the new ball. But who would have thought that Bangladesh would have got bowled out for 64 inside the first two sessions of play? And Australia weren't very convincing in their batting innings either. And then Australia just wrapped it up and won by an innings and 51 runs. So unfortunately, this is probably going to be a slightly shorter episode, considering the lack of cricket that's been played, but certainly still some major talking points coming out of this particular test match. I guess the big news out of the Australian camp before this test match was the decision to drop Jake Weatherald in place of Matthew Renshaw. Look, I think it's really stiff on Jake Weatherald. I think if you were going to give him a chance in this particular series, you needed to give him this entire series, not just one game. Jake was looking really good in county cricket, and I think he certainly earned an opportunity to prove himself in 2 test matches before heading to South Africa. But I think it's just a typical, or this particular Australian cricket team, to make the new guy the scapegoat. And I really like Renshaw. I thought he should have been at the start of the Ashes last summer, if I'm being completely honest. But I can see the appeal of why they wanted to go with Jake Weatherald, for sure. But I've been a big fan of Renshaw for a long time. Probably should have realistically come into the side when David Warner announced his retirement from Test cricket, and they've ended up going back to him anyway. So could they have just cut out all the trials and tribulations between David Warner's retirement and this point? I hope Renshaw gets a good go. Only made 8 in this game and no opportunity to bat in the second innings. But yeah, I feel really bad for Jake Weatherald. Hope Weathers goes well. You'd have to assume that he's on the plane to South Africa at this point if they've made this change. Does Jake potentially go to South Africa with Marnus being under in such a deep form slump at this point in time? I think it's time for Marnus to bite the bullet and be dropped from this side. I know they dropped him 12 months ago, and I do understand there is a lack of options coming through in Australian first-class cricket at the moment, but I think Nathan McSweeney's your man to come and bat number 3 if they want to do that. The only other thing they could potentially do would be to put Jake Weatherald back to the top of the order and Travis Head at number 3, or move Steve Smith to 3 and Travis Head to number 4. I don't think Steve Smith will want to bat number 3, but I think it potentially opens a few more options if he's willing to do that for the team. But he's your best batsman, so I can see why they want to protect him at number 4. So many options for the Australians. But let's talk about Mitchell Starc. The way he was able to bowl in this game, particularly to the left-handers, really challenging that outside edge, was able to get those ones to swing back into the right-hander, number of LBWs, and we just see how deadly he's been for Australia in the last 3 years. I think he's been pretty sensational, but particularly since the start of the Ashes last summer, wow. Just look like all the bowlers looked a little bit rusty after that first hit out in Darwin, but to see Australia, blitz the test match and basically, force a result inside 2 days has been absolutely sensational. A lot of conjecture about whether Nathan Lyon should be continuing to play in this Australian team. I thought he bowled well when he got the opportunity in the second innings. Obviously not much to do for him in the first innings with Starc and the quicks being so dominant. But yeah, I thought he looked good in this game. I think the fact that the boys hadn't played Test match cricket in 8 months prior to the Darwin Test match really showed, and Bangladesh were Test match hardened. And look, unfortunately, there wasn't too many highlights from a Bangladesh point of view. Shoriful, I thought, was sensational. 7 wickets. That delivery he got to bowl to Cameron Green today, hitting him on the toe. Amazing Yorker, 7 wickets. believe he had some hamstring troubles and was under a bit of an injury cloud, so he didn't play the first Test match. But the way he was able to bowl here was really good. Unfortunately, not that much else from a Bangladesh point of view to really smile about. Um, it's a complete contrast from what we saw in Darwin. But if you had said that, going into this series, if Bangladesh were able to get one Test match win, um, I think they would have absolutely snapped up that opportunity because they probably thought they were not a chance to do anything against Australia. So I certainly think they'll learn a lot from this tour. I think they've definitely been more competitive than some of the West Indies sides that have come out to Australia. You could argue some of the Pakistani sides that have come out to Australia. But I really like that throughout this series that Darwin and Mackay have been able to get an opportunity to showcase Test match cricket. I think the timing of the year, as I said in my Darwin video, is not quite right for these particular Test matches, just due to the fact that we're about to head into AFL and NRL finals here in Australia. But I'm not going to complain if there's some cricket on the TV. I just think the timings of these games need to be either, I can't really say it should be earlier, but I think it's just such a difficult one because these are the times that their climate, I suppose, is going to be best suited for international cricket. But I still think it's way too early in the summer. It's still winter here in Australia. But yeah, maybe in the future it could be white ball, but you can't imagine Mackay really realistically getting too many Test matches, especially with depending on what's happening with the Gabba and getting that ready for the the Olympic Games, in 2032 as well. So there could be an opportunity for Mackay. There could not be an opportunity for Mackay in the next couple of summers, but I think it's great for the tourism in these particular areas as well, economic impact, people staying in hotels, doing tourism activities. I certainly think it's something that Cricket Australia is going to explore much more. And Darwin's Cricket NT are definitely doing some really great things to promote T20 cricket up there as well. So whether a couple of Big Bash games or, some community camps as well could take place up there is I think it's really great for the cricketing community up in those regions. Let's talk about Australia going to South Africa. 3 Test matches beginning October, I'm pretty sure. So they've got a little bit of time between now and then to sort out what they want to do. I think you drop Marnus. I don't think Weatherald realistically comes on this tour. I think they've committed to Travis Head up the top of the order. I think McSweeney is the most likely person that I'd bring in. And I think maybe just another experienced batsman, whether that's a Peter Hanscom or a Curtis Patterson to join that squad. Curtis Patterson could easily bat 3, in my opinion. I really liked what he's done for New South Wales, but Curtis Patterson's 32, 33 years of age now, but I don't think age should be a deterrent because generally batters find their best form in Test match cricket somewhere between 31 and 35. And their technique is solid. Curtis's technique is really solid. Mountain of runs for New South Wales in the last 2 years. Had a go opening the batting, but I could certainly think he could bat at 3. And it would be a nice, welcome, calm addition to this team. Unfortunately, Marnus, no hundreds in Test match cricket since July of 2023. That's far too long, and I think this Australian team has been guilty of being a boys' club. And I've said this they're not a particularly likeable team with the way that they go about it, and the showcases in selection the last, I think, 5 years in particular under Andrew McDonald are a cause for concern, in my opinion, and the inability to tap blokes on the shoulder when their time is up, and we have these situations where we are continuously talking about why is Khawaja not getting runs and why is Marnus not getting runs and who else could. I do understand that there's not that many people banging down the door, but I think it's been long enough that it warrants making a change for sure. The bowling attack will be it is what it is. I'd be looking at getting Corey Rocacholi into the test squad as well. I think he just offers a little bit more than Todd Murphy in terms of the bounce. Todd Murphy's more of a side spin bowler, whereas Corey is definitely an over-the-top top spin bowler, a bit more bounce, more in the vein of Nathan Lyons. So that's something that I would certainly look towards. And I guess from a Bangladesh point of view, I'm not sure when their next test match series is, but I think it's been really great that they've been able to play so much test match cricket. A recent series against Pakistan, I'm pretty sure, and some recent tours of the West Indies for memory as well. So I think that the Quicks certainly impressed on this particular trip. Hassan in the first test, Shuffle in this particular game. Tuscan is certainly a quality bowler, has been pretty sure he's been picked up for IPL as well. So there's certainly some shining lights. Tanzid, 100 in the first game in Darwin as well. Shanto looked good. Mushfiqur Rahim has been around this team for a long time. So I really hope that Bangladesh do get some more opportunities to play test match cricket. I'm not sure how many of those are going to be against the likes of the big three in Australia, India and England. But I think them getting the opportunity to play away from home is going to set themselves up, and they're definitely going to get better by playing more test match cricket in those types of conditions. They'll certainly be competitive against the likes of Pakistan, the West Indies, and whenever they get to play some of the big three at home, they'll more than doubt be competitive. Mahedi Hassan is a quality off-spin bowler, and Tajil has been around for such a long time. You know what you're going to get from those two players in their home conditions. So, yeah, convincing victory to Australia up in Mackay. We haven't really talked about the pitch that much. Look, I think it was if you said 18 wickets at the start of the day, you go, oh my God. But we've seen this before, the likes of the Jasprit Bumrah test match in Perth, where he was able to take seven wickets, and Australia were able to bowl out India on the first day for 150. This kind of pitch reminds me of that at Optus Stadium. I think it was a fine cricket wicket. I just think the batting technique of both teams was extremely poor. Cameron Green was the only batsman to look of any class and quality on this pitch. Steve Smith did look good at points for 42, but given out, pretty unlucky decision, bit of a stitch up from Kumar Dhanasena. And looking on review, it's pretty hard to justify why you would be giving that out. So much unpredictability, particularly with how far it gets outside of off stump. But that's a discussion for another time. No one from Bangladesh really was able to get past that new ball, and the fact that the top three for Bangladesh all got noughts in the first innings. It's the first time that's ever happened in Test match cricket. So unfortunately, an unwanted stat for Bangladesh. But Bangladeshi fans, please let me know your thoughts in the comments about how your team has gone in this series. Australian fans, let me know what you would be doing with the squad selection for South Africa. Obviously, that's going to be a massive three-match series over there. And then obviously Australia's got 4 test matches against New Zealand over the Christmas and New Year's period. So thank you very much for tuning into In the Cordon. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Follow all of our social media pages, and I'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.